Hey, how's everyone doing? This is Art Fuel from VMware of Tanzu Technical Marketing, and I had a quick tech tip I wanted to share. I've been working on improving my tool set for when I'm developing new projects, and I'm working on infracode, right? Like that's what we're doing now. Instead of just point and clicking on things, we're working on infrastructure as code, and sometimes that involves some pointing and clicking on ClickOps as well. But trying to keep it all to the infrastructure as code side. But we go work on these projects, and inevitably there's deadlines. And how do you keep up with the notes to make sure what you do is documented, make sure what you do is replicable? And I'm not talking about keeping the perfect documentation. I think some of the pointer I'm going to get to here is a great way to do that. But I think the key thing for me is there's always the battle between time and complexity when you're developing a solution. A lot of times, it's not linear. You're trying, to the testing the code that you have up to a certain point, and you have to do more. And if something goes wrong at some point, maybe it has to mean I have to go back to step 2 and redo that. And how do I have a note-taking solution that has the flexibility I need to really do that well? It's a deterrent to actually documenting what you do while you're doing it, because it and because it ends up being such a mess, it's hard to even keep up with because of the methodology. But I've always felt like it's more about the methodology. Like if I can get my methodology refined enough, I believe there could be a way that could be simple and fast enough to where it would no longer be a deterrent. It would be, very, and I think, that's what I love about this new board, this new view that they have on GitHub projects. And I'm also combining it with a few other things in my stack to make it really easy to keep things well documented. But let me go ahead and share my screen. I have my my GitHub code, my info code over here on the left, and on the right hand side you can see this. I'm not exactly sure how new this is. It's newer views that they have in the newer GitHub projects. I've used GitHub projects for few years. I don't use it all the time, so it's been a bit. And when I previously used it, it looked a little bit more like this typical Kanban style. This new view of the Kanban is actually a little bit different than the old view. And at first, but it has some similar capabilities. You can still really use this drag and drop or automate the placement of cards across this Kanban view if you want. And I think for a lot of types of projects, particularly, more people you have working on the project, may be beneficial to use this view. And so when I first started with this new updated interface with this project I'm working on, I thought I was going to go back to this view. I was looking at this spreadsheet style view, and maybe it's because of all the history we have in the industry of having formerly worked with spreadsheets, and I just wasn't optimistic that this would be the great view that it has turned out to be in practice. Once I started using this, really the best note-taking tool I've ever used for one bootstrapping code projects. You can go so fast. Right, there was this periods of time where I'm working on this project, discussing maybe doing a retrospective with several colleagues and need to be able to keep notes as fast as people are talking. Or there's been times I've had another colleague, they're doing part of the work and sharing their desktop with me, and I've got to keep notes as they're going. And so really need to have a way to keep it really quick, dirty, fast. And I say dirty because we should follow the best possible practices, but I think sometimes when you're really under the gun, you've got to have something that is capable of doing the minimum needed well enough that you can really build on as you go, but be able to, like, when you're following along in a meeting, like you have to keep moving. And so I can really easily just come in here, type in quick notes, and I ideally we want to massage these to become really written in a format that people will be very, very crisp and clear, and people understand when they see and follows a set of practices. But I think from just getting started and having using in a way that keeps you using it, right? Keeps you from getting lost in you know, where you have nothing usable after the fact from how you keep your documentation. You know, I think the big difference here is that each of these is objects, right? So this isn't just a bulleted item list. This isn't just a spreadsheet where I have to create additional columns and hope that the data I want to put in there, you know, it's a regular object can come in here. And really one of the very cool things, right? If you're using GitOps, ideally, you know, you're moving towards some type of GitOps-like solution. Right here, you can convert this to an issue. The time it really makes a difference is like when you have to take really quick, really dirty notes, and you just have to put a very quick note, and it's enough of a note for your own mind because you went through this experience, right? Enough of a note to trigger in your mind what it means. Like right here, research logging solution. That's not a meaningful statement, right? It's enough to trigger for me what I want there, you know. So this is just a reminder. This is kind of like a reminder, but it's really nice to be able to take a quick note like that for myself without needing to create an issue ticket. You're not going to take action on anything until you make it issue ticket, and at that point, then it's really simple to come in, you know, convert it to an issue ticket. So let's just show a quick example of doing that. Before I do that, a little preview of some other things that I have on here to really bring this all together is I wanted to have matching this. Semantic versioning. There's a lot of solutions that'll do automatic semantic versioning and be able to take your commits and link your issue tickets and things into a change log. And they get to be pretty complicated, and a lot of times you'll integrate them specifically with highly custom release process. And so like these release engineering tool sets, they're you know, very, very, very complicated. So I thought, hey, let's, if I just take semantic versioning, create a simple configuration, maybe I can use that very, very consistently across a lot of my projects and be very used to the semantics and just have a very simple tool set that I can stamp out consistently across my projects. And so that includes, I have a GitHub workflow in here, and this semantic version workflow, and it creates change logs automatically. And then for people who come to my project, they can come here, and right here they see there's a change log, right? And I have all this. This is all automatically generated. And so like this last version, 1.12.1, I have it says bug fixes. It knows that automatically because I put fix : in the command to update it. So you can see here this command right down here, git commit. I prepended the word I was saying with fix. And so my semantic versioning solution here that I'm using, I can use fix or feat to determine whether it's going to be a fix level release, a feature level release, or a major release, just by a simple prepend. Let's see quick demo in action. So I just want to say add a feature commit to demonstrate solution. Okay, we'll just leave it a very simple thing. And I'm just going to leave, that's not, you know, the ideal description. Ideally it's nice we get into user stories for the commits and things of that nature, but I think it's also ideal, again, to have a solution that's flexible enough to be able to adapt to if you want to do something very, very simple and quick, a little better than nothing for a small, simple personal project. You've got a pretty good solution here for that can also be used for a more disciplined project where I'd have a much more structured commit messages. Let's go ahead and convert this to an issue. This is the other big thing I forgot. The old version of GitHub projects was really done on a repo by repo basis. And the other real big advantage of having the staging area rather than just having to make commits is this can now be a single dashboard for multi-repository projects. And so, yeah, that's a massive change from how it used to be. So we'll do this one on our over the top project. So add feature commit to demonstrate solution. Okay, and not as nicely formatted as I normally like, but just for something real quick for the demo here, good enough. At least it's documented. And now I have number 55. I'll just copy this. one thing you note, don't just, you have to put like to fix or to resolve number 55. If you just copy and paste this exactly, it won't automatically close the ticket when the automated GitHub bot will automatically close the ticket for you when you commit it, as long as you say to resolve number 55 or to fix number 55. So we'll go ahead here and just do git add. Commit, and I'm going to call this a feature so we can see that our feature level update and our versioning, semantic versioning number will roll over. I'll paste in the name that I have on that ticket right there, and I'll just add to resolve number 55, so it automatically closes the ticket. Commit it, and up, and then hold on, it's just I thought I already, let me just add a space or just for the purpose of the demo. So we'll save that, and let's do that one more time. And git push. And my password here. I need to add SSH key to this repo so I don't have to keep on entering my password. But okay, so there, I just went ahead and pushed it. And now if I come to my repository, we can see that, I'll go look at the actions here. And we can see here that my actions are running. We have a feature release, and I have my semantic release workflow that is going ahead and update my semantic release version number, append it, gather the commit message from here, as well as linking to it to the ticket that I'm referencing, and it's going to put that in the change log automatically for me. And then after that, it will run another workflow to close out the ticket automatically. So if I go back to, that should be, see if that's done running yet. So it's taking a minute. It's usually a little faster than that, but best effort. Oh, there we go. We can see now it was actually running the next one already. It just hadn't shown in the UI yet. So you just saw that just toggled to close so automatically, and we can see here that our GitHub Actions bot automatically said that the issue is resolved, automatically put in this particular version number if there's anything, and it also, by the way, makes releases, so packages a release for me. So not only can I very easily click on a tag to go back into the moment before I did this if I want to, but if I want to have download that version offline because it was important for a side project I was working on, but I didn't want to take away from the main train, right? I can go over to the GitHub release and download the source code as a zip or a tar file here, and that's all automated here. And I will be, so this source blog, I kind of, in terms of installation, there's not really anything to install. You can go right to your GitHub free account and go into projects, and you can start right away creating a project board like this. Just a really phenomenal way to keep notes and to make sure projects stay documented. That can be also allow you to implement full agile project management principles all in the same tool. So really, really powerful. And I will be sharing another blog here shortly about how I set up my semantic versioning in here. In the meantime, if you'd like to come into the over the top repo here, and you can check out the workflows, you can see here I've got the semantic release YAML. This is straight out of the GitHub Actions Marketplace, right? So you can see it's this CYC Jimmy release action. There's some documentation for it, but I also recommend checking out the configuration files that I put on this repo as well, because getting the configuration file just right for a simple solution is a bit tricky. But I will document that more soon. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in.